Powersheets prep week has finished, and I just wanted to go over some of my thoughts about prep week and the work that I did and how I found it helped me set my goals or not for the coming year. If this process was any different than my usual process. This is my first time using Powersheets, so I just wanted to give a little overview of how it went. So I watched the videos every day and I did the suggested pages in my Powersheets along with everybody else online. So I just want to go over some of the things that I completed while I was doing it. So the 2020 goal ideas. This page, I enjoyed the brainstorm aspect of it. I love brainstorming, and I probably could have filled another page with all of my ideas. I did color code it, so the green pen was for health, the pink was for personal development and side hustle or extra income. The blue was for home projects and things that I wanted to do around the house, and then the purple was for personal finance goals that I had. And you can see where I went back later and kind of circled those goals that stood out to me or things that I really wanted to focus on as goals for this year. Doing a brain dump like this is something that I would do every year. I find it really just helps me get it all out there and then really start to pare down what it is I want to focus on for the coming year in terms of my goals. That I enjoyed completing as well was Wonderful You, where you just get to reflect with prompts and lists about your personality, your values, things like that. And I also really like the What Fires Me Up. So thinking about what it is that I really do enjoy doing and how that would link back to some of the goals that I brainstorm about. It was a good reflection exercise and I enjoyed completing this page. And then the next section was cultivated life evaluation. So I've kind of covered up what I filled in here, but I did enjoy in her comments where she mentioned that it's okay if everything isn't a 10, because that just means that you have some areas that, you could work on and focus on for the coming year. So filling this out was interesting. I did kind of rename one of the categories. I made it more of a hobby category. And then filling out my cultivated year. So this was towards the end of the Powersheets prep, but this was a page that I really did enjoy. It was kind of like doing a verbal vision board, although that's a bit of an oxymoron. Thinking about what you want your perfect year to look like. And I do have something similar to this where I've written out what my perfect day would look like. And then that's kind of like an extra source of motivation. So filling this out, I thought about what I want to achieve, what I want my life to look like, and what it would look like if I was to achieve all the goals that I'm setting out for myself. So I have a few things kind of related to the goals that you're going to see. So having a no-buy year, or an intentional spending year, and then developing more consistency in terms of what I'm working on and keeping myself motivated, stuff like that. And then the next section of the Powersheets was the word of the year. So this was one that I had been thinking about even before I started the prep work. And so I did have like a few ideas in mind. So the word of the year that I ended up going with was self-discipline, because for me, this is something that I want to develop and work on, and it would help me with meeting my goals if I had more self-discipline. The next section was a vision board, and anything that involves scissors and glue sticks usually count me in. So I had some images that I had already selected for another vision board. So these were a few of the leftovers I didn't have space to include. So on this vision board, I have kind of like my dream desk, I guess, and like the idea of working from home in bed, not having to go to an office. So that's something that I would like to work on and achieve someday. And then I also have personal development, reading more, paying off my debt, budgeting, investing. That would be something I'd like to start this year and learn more about. I also have a couple home renovation projects that I would like to complete. Maybe not necessarily this year, but something that I would like to start saving towards in the future. And then also, I want to plant a garden this year and start growing more of my own food and focus on eating healthier and exercising more. So those are represented here. And then the next section was setting the goals for the coming year. Now, this section, they had one day for the goal setting and the action plans, and I found that it actually took me probably closer to 3 days to actually work through all of this, and there's still stuff that I want to go back and add to and expand on as the year progresses. So I did set 8 goals for the year that I want to work on. So just a quick glance at my goals and then the action plans. So this, I found some of them a little bit trickier to fill out than others. And as you can see, there's a lot of blank spots there. So I have a start on some of my action plans, but then I have other things that I need to think about some more and do some more reverse engineering. So for instance, one of my goals for the year is to save a 6-month emergency fund. So I kind of thought about what I would need to do that, how much I need to save, things like that. So right now my action plan is pretty short, so that I am going to need to expand on it. But right now the first step is just figuring out what is a 6-month emergency fund for me. How much do I need to save? And then as I finish that step and move on to the next one, I can see myself going back and continuing to fill out more of the mini goals and figuring out what it is exactly I need to do to get me there. And for instance, in some cases, like this one here, reading, I don't know if I'll be able to fill out the whole mini goal. The last section was the yearly overview, and I found this one was probably the most helpful in terms of setting goals and making a plan to achieve them. So Laura Casey mentioned I'm not sure if it was like the text at the top or if it was in one of the Powersheet Prep Week videos, but it's a good idea to use Post-its in this section, so that's what I did. And I found as I was writing out some of my mini goals and things that I needed to do to work towards achieving my bigger goals I was really piling up a lot of stuff in January. So having this yearly overview to kind of look at it and plan it out makes you realize that you need to spread things out and you can't just start January 1st checking everything off your list. You kind of have to spread it out throughout the year. So right now I really just have stuff planned for Q1 because I need to go back and do more reverse engineering, and that's something that I'm going to work on the next couple weeks and also into January. It's figuring out what it is I need to do to make all this happen. So the next section that I need to do is I need to set up my January tending pages and things like that. So for the month, I want to put milestones for my goals. And then my tending list, I have to sit down and figure out what it is I'm going to focus on in January to start making things happen.